So the opportunity to create CSI Energy Group as it is today it came up in 2006. There was a business opportunity in Tanzania, a maintenance project for a project that I'd constructed whilst I was in Tanzania in 2002. And we created a company at that stage called Simply Facility Management. Myself and a partner at that point was Guru Prasad Rao. And then we met one of our former colleagues, Mohammed Versi, who also wanted to do something similar. So Mo and Rao and myself, we decided to set up a company together which became CSI Electrical and Maintenance. So CSI, as an abbreviation, is the long form of CSI is Coastal Steel Industries. And Coastal Steel Industries at that stage was quite a reputable brand, established in 1978 by Nicola Colangelo. Nicola was an entrepreneur and a traveller. He'd been around East Africa, Italian by birth, lived in Kenya, worked in Uganda, and was trading all sorts of commodities into the building industry. And he also had the vision to set up construction and engineering businesses. He set up at one point in time, CSI Construction in its original form was only one of 3 registered local businesses in Tanzania that could do construction projects. So CSI Electrical and Maintenance, its roots are from Coastal Steel Industries, and Coastal was a diverse group in itself, with aviation, property, engineering, also agencies for various international brands, quite a famous business in Tanzania in its own right. We continued the development of CSI Electrical and Maintenance, and a few years later we decided to drop the maintenance. It was an extremely long name. Our business at that stage had changed. Although we'd won the project that we wanted, and we had a couple of maintenance projects at the British High Commission, or what was it, Umoja House actually, with co-location offices for various embassies in Dar es Salaam. We also had a project with another embassy in Dar es Salaam, but the business focus had shifted more into electrical construction works. So we dropped the maintenance in the name, and the business became CSI Electrical in 2009. We'd been busy in the mining sector. We did work at Buzwagi, we did some work at Bulyanhulu at that stage. We'd done a couple of banking projects for NBC in Shinyanga and one in Dar es Salaam. And in 2010, we started to work in Arusha on the renovation of the Mount Meru Hotel, which was quite a big project for us at that stage. It was plus $1 million. And it was a real high quality project, something that we were proud to do. And we proceeded to work more in the building industry then. So we moved from the mining sector into building construction, electrification of building construction. We did Mount Meru Hotel, and ultimately from there we did the biggest project in the building sector that we've done thus far, which was Julius Nyerere International Airport, Terminal 3. It was 60,000 square meters of airport space, where we did the full electrification in a joint venture with Air Duct from South Africa. Our role was the medium voltage, the low voltage special services inside the airport itself, the lighting, power, enabling all of the air conditioning, all of the facilities that the people use and continue to use on a daily basis. Then rolling back a bit to around 2012, we started to get some opportunities in the power sector with Takaoka, one of the Japanese tier 2 engineering businesses, working under Mitsubishi Corporation. We did a project for them in and around Dar es Salaam. We did a subsequent project for them around Zanzibar. And then from our relationship with Takaoka, we actually created some new opportunities with other Japanese. We went on to work with Sumitomo Corporation and Toshiba Plant on Kinyerezi 2. That was 2016 to around 2019. We got an opportunity overseas with Mitsubishi in Ghana. We also we worked with Toyota Susho and Hitachi plant in Nigeria, subsequently moved to Senegal. So our relationships with the Japanese EPCs were spawned from a relatively small opportunity with Takaoka in Dar es Salaam. So we remain grateful to all of these clients who took a chance on us when we were a very small company and allowed us to grow and to learn and to benefit from their presence and the relationships and their projects. So we also diversified. One of the themes of the business has always been quality and health and safety. From the very start, we wanted to be a business that was different. We wanted to. At the time, it was I think the focus of the business was to be the best electrical contractor in East Africa, back when we started in 2007. As the business evolved, obviously it became more than that, and it became less about being the best and more about the impact that we could have. But the focus on safety and quality and process and our clients' objectives really is what's, I would say, differentiated us from a lot of the other players in the market, particularly the regional contractors, where we've always tried to maintain a higher standard. We've always tried to work to best practice with a largely local workforce. So, bridging a gap between a perceived local capacity and a desired international requirement. So the business really sat in this space of bridging this gap. And as a result of that, we got an opportunity in the oil and gas sector in 2012 with British Gas or BG Group as it was called, working on a base in Mtwara. We did some work for them. We also worked then for Statoil, which is now Equinor. We did a service base for Halliburton in Mtwara. We did Schlumberger in Mtwara, and subsequently we went and worked for both Schlumberger and Halliburton in Mozambique. And this is generally how the business has grown, is that we've done a project, normally a relatively small project as an introduction to a client. We've succeeded with them. They've been satisfied with what we've done, and then they've asked us to go and do something somewhere else. So all of our ventures overseas have really been on the back of a pre-existing relationship. This was the case for Mozambique, for Kenya, for Nigeria, for Ghana, for Senegal. So all of these countries that we've had an impact in the energy space has largely been built on a relationship that started or that was spawned in Tanzania. So Tanzania has been and continues to be a huge part of the business focus. Our largest projects have been there up until today, where we picked up on the Kinyerezi 1 project after the previous EPC bankrupt. We have helped TANESCO to take what was a dilapidated piece of plant and equipment that had been stored for close to 5 years, some of it. And we've brought it into service. We're now generating 160 megawatts daily from this power plant. It was a project that people didn't think could be done. We've done it, we've worked hard at it, not without challenges. But the entire team was committed to make this happen, and through a degree of tenacity and just a willingness to keep trying and never give up, we've again succeeded on this project. We have currently opportunities in Kenya, projects where we're working in the geothermal sector. Again, we've previously worked in Kenya for Olkaria, at Olkaria, with Ormat. We've worked with Fuji and Marubeni, and now we're working with Japanese again at Menengai. So we're looking forward to contributing more to the renewable energy space through the geothermal projects. In 2016, we'd taken a decision to restructure the group. to Mauritius. We had an entity in Mauritius at that stage, and we worked for a number of years to change the governance structure of all of the subsidiaries to bring the ownership to Mauritius, creating a group structure, ultimately with improved leadership and improved governance. And that's enabled us to also look at diversifying again what we do beyond EPC. There's always an element of trying to stay ahead, trying to anticipate what's going to change within the industry to make the business sustainable from a business perspective rather than from an environmental perspective. It's an entirely different subject, but we focused on our EPC as a contracting element ultimately is the foundation on which the business has been built. But we also wanted to do more. We wanted to leverage our network. We wanted to leverage the capabilities that our team has and the availability of funding from international donors to countries like Tanzania, Kenya, the whole of Africa, and do some development projects. We've been asked a number of times over the years to look at some investment projects, and we just never felt it was the right time. But more recently, with the creation of the development cluster, just a couple of years back now, we've really started to focus on how we can leverage our total capabilities and the capacities of our team to do projects that will change the face of the business for the future. So looking at small independent power projects, ideally in the renewable space, or hybrids, where we are reducing the carbon footprint of our clients and having a better environmental impact. At the onset of the business, we were very focused on quality and just being the best that we could. I think as the business matured, we realized that, you know, as a mission, just being the best wasn't particularly serving the people who we were interested to serve. It was more self-serving than anything else. And it was around 2015, 2016 that the team expanded in Tanzania as we merged with CSI Engineering and we created CSI Energy Group. And we'd looked at what we wanted to do and in terms of our staff, our internal stakeholders and our external stakeholders. And the improving lives was very much focused on what we thought was the impact of our project. So we were in fact improving the lives of our internal stakeholders. You know, we were giving good conditions, paying reasonable salaries. We tried to have an impact internally with the team, but most importantly, all of our projects had external impact. So the improving lives aspect has always been there within the business. However, again, it was felt that it just wasn't sufficient. And more recently, with the evolvement, the evolution of the team, and discussions in Mauritius, we recently had conversations around what did we think the true mission of CSI Energy was, what was our purpose, what did we exist for, why did we get out of bed every single day. And one of the things that we discussed was this right of access to electricity. And you know, obviously it's essential. I mean, access to infrastructure is essential, access to electricity is essential. But we agreed that it was much more than that. It wasn't just essential, it was in fact a human right that every single person should have access to electricity because of what it enables. So the access to electricity and the electricity being a human right, I think is something that is not just a CSI Energy thing. I think, you know, it should be supported by the entire energy industry, and people should realise that access to electricity is not just a human right for 8 hours a day, it should be a 24-hour day solution as well, and we should change our perspectives around this. In terms of how we actually provide access to electricity, well, there's different positions on this, and we fully support what's framed as a just energy transition. An energy transition, it can be entirely renewable in developed economies, but the space that we're operating in is not an entirely developed economy. We've got various degrees of development across the continent, from cities that are developed, likes of Cairo or Johannesburg, to villages in the middle of nowhere in Tanzania or Kenya or in the middle of the DRC, where you just can't have a single solution. So what we support is an energy transition that is right for a particular situation. And if that is using gas, then it's using gas. If it's using a hybrid solution, it's using a hybrid solution. If it can be entirely renewable, then that's what we support as well. We support wind, we support solar, we'll support hydrogen in the future. But if we need to support a gas project because it's the right solution and it provides electricity when nothing else can, at a rate that's economically viable for the people in that particular community, then that's what we support. So this is our version of a just energy transition. It's an energy solution that is appropriate for the particular community that we're trying to serve at that particular point in time.